Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do something different. I wanted to give you guys some advice, some coaching to kind of help you to be a better player. All right. And this kind of is a reaction to some of the questions that I've been answering lately about how to choose a planeswalker, right? That's an important question. If you're going to get into this game, you got to know how to choose planeswalkers. So I give to you the Planeswalker Coach's Guide for Choosing Planeswalkers. All right. I'm going to be prioritizing a couple of rules here. I'll show you one rule every single video, right, for this entire series. I'll go over the rule, and it's going to help you to choose good planeswalkers and make use of those planeswalkers just as long as you follow these rules, okay? Rule number one, prioritize the finishing move. All right, so what am I talking about when I say prioritize the finishing move? I'm talking about there are some moves, there are some abilities, there are some cards here that go nicely with planeswalkers that once you hit it, the game is over, right? I kind of think about like the mid 90s and the late 90s, right? There was a wrestler called Stone Cold Steve Austin. And some of you guys might be kind of young and you don't know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is, but I'll kind of put it this way. Stone Cold, as you kind of know him, if you've been familiar with him, you know he's got a finishing move, right? That's called the Stone Cold Stunner. And one thing you know about the Stone Cold Stunner is if you get hit with that Stone Cold Stunner, it's over. The match is over. It's over. 1, 2, 3, done, right? And that's what I want you guys to focus on for rule number one with finding planeswalkers. Prioritize the finishing move. If you see a planeswalker out there that's got a great ability and you know that that's a game winner, that's basically your Stone Cold Stunner right there. The only thing you're going to be focused on doing is hitting that ability, just like Stone Cold, right? He's going to try to focus on hitting that Stone Cold Stunner. And once he does it, you know it's over, right? Same thing for you. Focus your whole and entire deck around hitting that one finishing move, all right? Be on the lookout for these planeswalkers that have finishing moves, all right? I'll show you what I mean. Here's one planeswalker, Ob Nixilis, Reignited. Excellent planeswalker, all right? The reason I say he's an excellent planeswalker is because he has a finishing move. You can see that third move here on your screen, Forbidden Knowledge. It says create a support gem. Whenever any player draws a card, deal 8 damage to your opponent. Now, I'll preface all of this by saying that you may not like Ob Nixilis, you may hate him, right? What I like is what I like based on the cards that I have, based on the play style that I like to use, and that may be different from what you do and what you have, and that's cool. What I'm saying is keep this in mind and consider it that this might be one that you like because he's got a good finishing move here, and that's the Forbidden Knowledge move. All right, Forbidden Knowledge, as you see, you can do 8 damage to your opponent every time they draw a card or you draw a card. So what you're going to try to do is set up this finishing move, right? Just like Stone Cold sets up his finishing move, you got to set up this finishing move by building a deck that helps you to draw a ton of cards, right? So you build a deck that's got a lot of draw in there, especially a deck that can be used with a ton of draw right after you hit Forbidden Knowledge, you know you're going to win, right? You know you're going to have an amazing combo, an amazing finishing move that's going to win you matches. What am I talking about? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Nixilis Invasion Ship deck that you can see on this channel, right? That's a good example. You can take a look at the cards here. You can click on that little tag that shows up, and you can go and see the video. Now, what this whole and entire deck is all about, it's basically about you building a system or building a machine that draws a ton of cards, right? And the reason, like I said, we're going to draw a ton of cards is because we're going to hit that Forbidden Knowledge move, right? Once you hit that ability, you hit you hit the trigger, so that way it draws a ton of cards, and then you're going to do 8 damage to your opponent every single card that you draw, right? You can click on it, like I said, and then check out the video, but what you'll see is I built this deck in a way that it's going to be able to set up the machine that gets you to draw a ton of cards, right? So that's setting up that finishing move, and once you hit that Forbidden Knowledge, you click yes on that machine, and it turns itself on. And then basically what happens is you draw a ton of cards that destroys your opponent. All right? That's the finishing move I'm talking about. Here's another good planeswalker that's got a good finishing move, right? You see on the bottom here, this is for Sarkhan Unbroken. You can see on the bottom, Sangreat Overlords. That's an interesting one, right? You can see there's some power in that one. It says fetch the next 3 creatures with power 6 or greater from your library, and then give them full mana. Then all creatures in your hand gain haste. Now, that may not look like a finishing move, but if you set up your deck correctly, that's going to be a powerful finishing move. Let me show you what I mean. All right, I use that in a deck called High Toxicity, which you can find on this channel. Just click on the little thing that pops up there. High Toxicity, as you can see, is a deck that's got a lot of toxic creatures. And what I try to do in this deck is build it up in a way where you can load up on those 20 toxic tokens, hit all 20 toxic tokens in one turn, right? Of course, when you click on the video, you watch the video, you need to have at least 1 toxic token down already before you hit this finishing move. But once you have it, once you got that 1, you'll be able to hit the rest of the 20 all in one move, right? So that's a very powerful finishing move that helps you to win the game right there. All right, here's the last one that I want to point out when we're talking about finishing moves, all right? This is the last example I want to show you. Jaya Ballard. Okay, you can see on the bottom it says create a professional destruction token. That's that professional destruction ability. What I like about this ability is that it's really cheap. It only costs 15 of those loyalty points. And once you hit that, it's very devastating. You can take a spell from your deck, place it in your hand, it gains full mana, right? And if you take a look at the deck that I use it for, you can see how it becomes a finishing move, right? There's only one spell in that deck. It's the Iganjo Uprising. That's a nasty, nasty one that gives you a ton of these samurai tokens. And when you combine that with Jetmir, the Nexus of Rebels, they get double strike, right? So if you can click on that video, you'll see how the video will play, and you'll see how this deck works. And what you'll notice is that as soon as I hit that professional destruction ability, I launch the Iganjo Uprising, and I'll make a ton of those tokens. All of them will have that double strike, and boom, it's over. That's the Stone Cold Stunner right there. That's the finishing move, and that's the end of the game. All right, so I'm kind of encouraging you guys to prioritize, like I said, prioritize these Planeswalkers that have finishing moves. All right, I hope you guys liked the video. Check out all the videos in this series, and as always, folks, like and subscribe and share this with your friends. All right, that's it for me. Good gaming.